What's going on? What's up, Dud Nation? It's your man, C. Dougie. Primetime Panther football is finally here. Let me go ahead and turn my camera on, man. I cannot wait. We have an hour and a half, man. I have a special guest with me. My guy, Uncle Quan, is headed here in a few, but we have a special guest from C3, my guy, Cody, man. Cody, go ahead and turn the camera on and tell the people what's up, man.
Dougie, what's up, man? Thank you for having me, man. Happy to do this little collaboration combo that we're doing. It was great to finally meet you for the first time at Spartanburg.
Yes, sir.
And we got Panthers football in like an hour and 15 minutes, man. I'm ready to wrap it up with you, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Like I said, it has been an adventurous season. It was a great off season, but it has been an adventurous season with the Carolina Panthers. We are sitting at 1-7 right now, going against the 2-7 Chicago Bears here in an hour and 15, man. Definitely, like Cody said, I was able to meet this man in Spartanburg doing training camp. He saw me and Quan, definitely said, hey, I'd definitely love to do some work with you guys. And I said, hey, more than, I have no problem with collabing with C3. And so I actually saw Cody. We were rushing to our seats. And Quan was like, there go Cody. I said, I got to stop by and see Cody when we were at Monday Night Football. So like I said, this is a long time in the works, man. I definitely appreciate the C3 family showing up, definitely collabing with a big-time game right now. I think this is a turning point for this organization with people possibly being fired and a lot of questions possibly being answered on offense and defense, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then, obviously the elephant in the room, the Panthers would have the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft. That pick belongs to the Chicago Bears, who were playing tonight. So it's a rare opportunity for them in that they can get a W and yet still secure in more ways that first overall pick. So it's a big opportunity for them, but it's a bigger opportunity for us, man. Like, jobs are on the line right now. Everyone in that front office, they have to feel like they're on the hot seat. From Fitterer to the scouts, like, I don't know who could possibly feel safe right now. There's been a big discussion about potentially firing the coaching staff because of the start that we've gotten off to. I feel that's a little bit premature. I understand Panther fans are kind of upset about, everything that's going on with the team and they want change. But I think tonight's performance is going to dictate a lot for the rest of the season for the 2023 Carolina Panthers.
Yes, sir, man. I definitely agree with that. Like I said, I have been saying I need Scott Fitterer to be fired. I never want anybody to lose their job. But at the same time, he has let this roster be depleted where we see injuries now. And this roster has been shopping not at the top tier of free agents. So I definitely think he has a lot of questions to be answered. I know him and Frank Wright said that they have a blueprint. I don't know what type of blueprint that they possibly could have, because with the way this roster and this team is looking right now, the blueprint that you have should be balled up, thrown away, and you need to start a new blueprint. So for me, like I said, this game is very important. DJ Moore, you have Deontay Foreman playing against their former team. This game right here is going to be a revenge game possibly for DJ Moore, but also for Deontay Foreman, who wanted to stay in Carolina as well, man. So I see a couple of people that are in the chat. Donna B, I appreciate you saying how my parents are doing. I'm actually hitting the road tomorrow morning. Pops had successful surgery, so I will be hitting the road. Marcos Cash, what's going on? Monet, what's going on? Carolina
in the house. So there we go.
1 hour. Yeah, I saw. I didn't know if you were talking to somebody. Yes, sir. Derek B, what's going on, my guy? That's one of my mods. Who we got? Sephora. About time for another embarrassing L. I hope not tonight. We cannot have embarrassing L. White chocolate espresso. Yo, what's going on? Anthony Brown. Let's go. My guy Austin Wright in the building. See Dougie. Yes, sir. Like I
The
said,
whole crew, man. The whole crew showed up.
yes, sir. Like I said, shout out to C3, man. I definitely appreciate again Cody joining us tonight, man. Panthers owner and management have dug themselves in the depot. Yes, they have. I definitely appreciate again Cody joining us. Yes, they have.
And by the way, real quick, I want to say if you're watching this on C3 on the C3 channel, check out Wassup Dub, man. Hit him with the likes, hit him with the subscribes.
Yes, sir.
I've always said for a long time as Panther content creators, the rising tide lifts all boats, man. There's enough likes and subscribers for everybody. So check out Wassup Dub for this Panther content. And what channel y'all going live at to do your reaction?
Uncle Quan's channel, the Panthers Experience with Uncle Quan. He's doing play-by-play right after we get done with the pregame.
Yes, sir. So look, check this out. You got the pregame show with us. You got the live reaction with Uncle Quan. And then after the game, C3 is doing a post-game show, man. So we got y'all covered from head to toe tonight.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we'll be over there, Cody. Like I said, I'll make sure, even though if I'm packing or whatever, I'll definitely show up for the post-game show, man.
Yeah, man.
Let me read some more comments before we go more into the season.
Do your thing.
North Shore said, bring back Cam. I don't know how much number one has in the tank anymore. Michael Guerrero, hello, Darkness, my old friend. Anthony Brown said, Scott Fitter, the scout team, and the training staff should be fired. I definitely agree with that. What else we got? Let's see.
Thanks to Jay Thomas. He said good film review earlier, man. I appreciate it, man. We've been putting out all 22 film reviews every Thursday, breaking down the all 22 film, man. It's been very eye-opening.
It sounds like Big Spank is a Bears fan because he's saying their quarterback is about to cook Bryce. Let's see about that. I really think this is an opportunity for Bryce to definitely show up too, because if he loses this game against an undrafted rookie, there's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered with Josh McCown, Thomas Brown, and Frank Wright. Derek B said, with our experienced staff, there shouldn't be any excuses. I'm honestly tired of seeing 1 and 2 year experienced head coaches with success. Facts. Cyber said, don't feel bad about these lame duck GM coaches and front office staff. They're making bukus of money and win little to none games every year. They're going to be okay. Then we got Trucker Mower said, I'm looking for DJ and Foreman to go off. Like I said, I definitely think that's going to be a showing tonight. Fitter told us that we are a quarterback away from being competitive. Clearly, he doesn't know the business as well as he should. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna read some more comments and then I'm gonna ask Cody. And like I said, I'm gonna also figure out what you guys think about this season. So, Cody, going into the off season, whenever I met you during the off season, did you think that we would be sitting at 1-7 right now?
No, God, no. I expected some growing pains for everyone involved, a brand new coaching staff, a brand new quarterback that you traded up for, a brand new defensive formation. I mean, we moved to a 3-4, and actually committed to it this time. We kind of did it under Ron Rivera, but kind of half-heartedly at the same time. So this was that real transition. So we definitely expected growing pains. It's not like that's a surprise. I don't think anyone expected 1-7 and the worst team in the NFL right now. I don't think anyone saw that coming. It's definitely been disappointing, and I understand why people are upset. People are coming down on Bryce. People are coming down on the coaching staff. And I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. And then to top it all off, like I'm not even trying to bring back up the whole Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud debate. But in the national media, when you have the number 2 overall pick putting up potential league MVP numbers compared to the number 1 overall pick, who is granted not in a very good situation right now, but man, it's just bad for optics. It's real bad for optics. And we're going to have to build this team, in my opinion, similarly to how the Miami Dolphins have built around Tua. put speedsters at wide receiver, build up your O-line, and get someone that can call the right type of plays.
So I'm gonna ask you this, Cody, because I see my guy Quan is setting up. So our co-host will be here in a few. So you said the Miami Dolphins. One team for me that I think Carolina needs to do identical blueprint, if we're going to use the blueprint word, is to go and do identical what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. I know everybody's saying the Detroit Lions. Whenever Quan and I did a preseason season projection, I was very high on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Jacksonville Jaguars is the true blueprint. They did have Urban Meyer. All right, hold on real quick. Let me go ahead and bring him in. What's going on? Quan, go ahead and tell the people.
Yo, what's good, fellas? What's good, fellas?
Quan, what's up, bro?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too, man.
Oh yeah, how's y'all night going?
It's going good, man. We just Cody just basically was saying, I asked him how does the 1-7 season did he expect it? Was it kind of a surprise? And he was basically saying, kind of sort of what the blueprint, what they did with Tua, how we should help and upgrade his roster with Bryce. And I was saying, I really think we should possibly upgrade it with what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. Urban Meyer was a bad coach for Trevor Lawrence. But if you look at all the mistakes that Bryce is doing, this is nothing new underneath the sun. Peyton Manning had the same problems. Aaron Rodgers had the same problems. Trevor Lawrence had the same problems. Joe Burrow threw 4 picks threw 1 pick in 4 consecutive games. So everybody wants to blame Bryce, but this is not on Bryce. Again, this is going to be growing pains, but I think we were spoon-fed and we were lied to on the front end during the offseason, thinking that, again, we're 1 piece away. Quan was one person saying, no, we're not 1 piece away, Doug. This is a continuous young team. And now you look at the injuries that we have on this roster, we're depleted on defense, still competing, but the offensive line is terrible.
Well, I'll say this, man. Both of y'all mentioned growing, basically rebuilding, basically giving a blueprint for like Tua Tagovailoa and in Jacksonville for Trevor Lawrence. Neither one of you are wrong in that aspect, because regardless, we're gonna have to build around Bryce Young regardless. So we're gonna have to get him some weapons. We obviously got the worst receivers right now as far as like separation and all that good stuff, and we need to build around them regardless, just like they did in Jacksonville, just like they did in Miami. Look at Tua, look how he's thriving now that he has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the perimeter. Look at Trevor Lawrence. He got Christian Kirk over there. He got a tight end over there with Evan Ingram. You know what I'm saying? He got Calvin Ridley. I mean, they're stacked over there with their receivers, and they got options. We don't really have that here yet. We got a young quarterback trying to do it all with barely anything to work with right now. So regardless, we got to build around him. We got to give him some weapons, man.
Yeah, we definitely do, man. We definitely do. Let me go ahead and turn on Amazon Prime. Again, I want to thank my guy, Cody, and as always, my co-host, Uncle Quan, for joining us tonight, man. We have been working on this for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, Cody?
Yeah, we were supposed to do it a couple weeks ago, but we ended up having to move it back, and it just worked out, man, being able to do this right before the Bears game.
Yes, sir. All right, so I'm about to hit the button, and I think it starts now. So before we go into one of our topics that we're going to talk about throughout the game, one thing that I need to understand also is, was Frank Wright the right coach out of all the coaches that got hired for the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, listen, the name that everybody really wanted, I believe, was Jim Harbaugh. And a lot of people who want Frank Wright fired now are still saying the name Jim Harbaugh. I don't know, man. I think there was a lot of synchronicity in that, Frank Wright used to play for the football team. That, he's from the area. Mm-hmm. And, he thought he was going to Indianapolis to have Andrew Luck as his quarterback for the future. And he made the playoffs with them. The fact that then they had the quarterback carousel with Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz, I wasn't opposed to Frank, but I wanted to see him prove it. I wanted to see him show, what he's capable of doing as a head coach. One of the things I've been saying is this: when we talk about Bryce Young and his performance, there's a terrible offensive line in front of him. He doesn't have wide receivers that separate very well, and he's a rookie in the NFL. So a lot of people are like, "Well, you can't put everything on him." But I'm also extending that same grace to Frank Reich and Thomas Brown. They weren't going to be able to magically redo this roster in one offseason. They don't have the proper talent on the offense right now to be the type of team that they envisioned of being. And in my opinion, that is more of the fault of our general manager, Scott Fitterer. I believe him and the front office, they've been here for 3 years now, and they do not hit on draft picks. Their free agents have not been turning out. I know we're going to talk about that. So yeah, man, it's a work in progress right now.
Quan, you got something, or you want me to jump on it?
Yeah, look, man, I was a guy that wanted Ben Johnson. I knew obviously we had to work on our offensive scheme. We haven't really had a solidified offense in a while now. So obviously we was looking for that offensive coach. When we got Frank Reich, I mean, I'm just like Cody, man. I was just like, I mean, let's see what he got. I mean, I wasn't really for him. It was kind of out of nowhere, at least in my perspective, man. So I was like, all right, let's get this guy a chance. But so far, he hasn't really shown me any traits or anything that makes me want to believe in him, man. It's a lot going on with him. I mean, he's brain dead at times. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, he's off. Yeah. He's off, man. I think we might have made the wrong hire as far as head coach. I could be jumping the gun early. I don't know. That's just my opinion right now, man.
Let me ask y'all, do y'all feel that right now that Frank Reich should be fired and that his job is on the hot seat? I mean, how y'all feel about this? If we're talking, let's talk. You know, how are y'all feeling about Frank Reich?
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck.
Yeah,
Quan can tell you, I went hoarse for booing this man when we played the Texans. I'm not lying to you. I booed this man so hard. I started to chant "Fire Frank Reich" because the passion and emotion and the money that we've all put into this team is felt wasted. Because as much as I wanted to change out of Steve Wilkes, I think it was time for us to possibly bring in a new coach. But if we're going to do the same thing that we did just now with Frank Reich, who's not to say that Steve Wilkes could have did a better job? I think the only reason why Steve Wilkes did not get this job is because he wanted to keep Al Holcomb as his defensive coordinator. And if you saw him at the coordinator position for the defense was not good. It regressed a lot. So for me, I think when I look at D'Amico Ryans, who's doing well in Houston, who's another coach that comes to the top of my head? Who else hired a coach? I know that's the main one.
Philadelphia, Shane Steichen.
Oh, no, not Shane Steichen, but the one Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts coach is not bad.
Oh, yeah. He was in Philadelphia. He was in Philadelphia and then went to the
Philly. Yeah, and then he went there. Arizona, I mean, they had a couple of big-time wins, but they got the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator. Like Quan said, we had opportunity to get Ben Johnson. You alluded to the opportunity to get Jim Harbaugh. Also, we're looking at Ken Dorsey with the Buffalo Bills. I really think
former Panther.
Like for me, I really think it was just a quick hire, and I think he was the most veteran head coach out there. So that's the reason why we did sign Frank Reich to be our head coach. Like Quan said, I'm not going to jump the gun. I'm the one that always preaches patience. So I have to be patient, but at the same time, it is what it is. And hopefully this offseason we do something different, because if not, I'll be really reselling tickets, because I definitely be a game, but I will be reselling tickets if we do the same thing that we did in year 2.
I hear you. Go ahead, Quan.
For me, man, I think realistically they're going to give Frank Reich a full year. Then maybe at the beginning of next year, if he's still starting rocky, I think they'll fire him by maybe week 5, week 6. But personally, I'm not gonna say let's fire him just yet. I mean, that's really gonna fuck up the development for Bryce Young, and I mean he's already going through 2 offensive coordinators. So it's just, if we fire Frank right now, it's gonna mess up his development even further. So let's just take that chance. I mean, even if it don't work out, let's at least give him some consistency with Frank Reich and just, I mean, hey, let's see where we go from here. Honestly.
Yeah, and to that point too, man, it's like, we assume that Fitterer is out the door no matter what. Like Frank Reich and the coaching staff, that's kind of a question mark. But we all kind of assume that Fitterer and many in the front office are done for. If you fired your coaching staff after 1 year, then you're bringing in an entirely new front office, an entirely new coaching staff. David Tepper hasn't proven to be able to make good decisions hiring any of those types of people. Now you're going to ask him to do both of them in one offseason, and the front office and brand new head coach that you just brought in had no say-so in the quarterback that you just moved up to draft number 1 overall. Now, this entire coaching staff will tell you over and over, Bryce Young was their chosen quarterback. They moved up with him in mind. So if they're going to build around him, I feel like they need the same leeway and the same grace period as their quarterback to continue to be able to grow and build upon whatever vision they had for the team. And it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time, man. Like I said, I'm looking at the TV. Bryce, I think we're wearing white jerseys with black breeches or black bottoms, if people like to say it.
The breeches. That's some old school shit right there, man.
I'm definitely ready for this game because a lot of questions need to be answered. Also, I want to know if Bryce going to have a bounce back game. Before we get into our next segment, if there's any veterans out there, I wanted to do this. I forgot I was supposed to do it in the beginning. Happy early Veterans Day. I am a military brat. I'm also currently in the military. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, to people whose family members are veterans or have served this country. Happy Veterans Day. Like I said, I did wear my Panthers military clothes today because, again, Veterans Day is being observed tomorrow. So I definitely wanted to show some support to all my military comrades and all that, man. Also, before we go into our next segment, if you have not hit the subscribe button or hit the like button for us over here, What's Up, Dub, please do so. We also have a special guest coming next week. Hopefully he will join us so you guys can meet him. But again, we're doing special things over here at What's Up, Doug. Also with my counterpart, with Uncle Quan with the Panthers Experience. If you guys have not subscribed to both our channels, please do so before we go into this next segment. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I love the comments. I definitely appreciate everybody showing up to show us love this afternoon and tonight, man. No, I don't have a Discord. I do not. That might be something I try to lead into going into 2024. So I definitely do that.
And C3, we do. Ours is in our description below the YouTube video if you're watching on C3.
All right, so let me go ahead and show what our next topic is going to be right now. They're showing Bryce warming up. So wasted money. I've already talked to Quan and I've already talked to Cody about this topic. What I mean by wasted money is these 4 gentlemen were brought in to basically produce for this team, be leaders on this team, and be the number 1 option or be in the starting lineup for this particular team. If people don't know the names by the picture, you got DJ Chark in the left-hand corner. Right beside him, you have Justin Houston. At the bottom 2, you have Miles Sanders and you have Hayden Hurst. Out of these 4 options, I already know possibly everybody's answer, but out of these 4 options, who has mostly disappointed you this year? And was it a wasted contract or we just gave the person too much money? Either Cody or Quan can go into it first.
Go ahead, Quan.
I mean, when you put the picture up, all I just saw was just garbage. I mean, just battle of the garbage, man. But it's so bad to the point where it's hard for me to pick out between those 4 who's the most disappointing. But I mean, if I had to pick, man, it's got to be Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, I expected him to come in and really help this running game, especially with how much we paid him. I thought Miles Sanders was going to have one of those years where he had a chip on his shoulder. You know, the Eagles let him go, whatever. He's going to come out and prove that he could be productive without that stellar offensive line over there in Philadelphia and all those weapons that he was surrounded by. Could he separate himself as a star running back in the league like he believed in himself? So I think right there, man, that was very disappointing. I mean, yeah, we could be better with our offensive line help, but regardless, man, Miles Sanders just don't have that burst like Chuba Hubbard does, man. It's a disappointment.
Yeah, man. Look, I know that the popular answer is Miles Sanders, especially because of the contract that we gave Buddy. He has not lived up to it in any way, shape, or form. But man, especially seeing how this passing attack is, it's hard for me to not say DJ Chark, man. Not only has the dude been injured, which he has been throughout most of his career, but they essentially brought in DJ Chark to be the explosion factor in our offense. That he was going to be a part of our downfield passing attack. And he's not that at all, man. Even when they do target him, he's not even guaranteed to catch the football in the first place.
Facts.
So it's like, man, that's been so disappointing for us. During training camp, him and Bryce formed a good connection with one another. And it seemed as though DJ Chark was looking like he might be the number one wide receiver in this offense. And he's not even playing tonight, man. We're not even gonna see a DJ Moore, DJ Chark offensive type of game, man. So it's very disappointing. I know others have been disappointed too. Justin Houston is another honorable mention. Hasn't done much, but I've just been so disappointed with DJ Chark.
So for me, I know I said choose. I say all of them. And the reason why I'm gonna back this up by saying all of them, Quan already alluded to the running back position. You had Chuba Hubbard on this roster that you could have used the money somewhere else. You could have gave Deontay Foreman more money where they were a 1-2 punch. DJ Chark, I understand he's a speedster, but he has not been healthy. The same injuries that he had with Detroit and the Jacksonville Jaguars are the same as that injuries that he's having right now in Carolina. You did have TMJ, you did draft Mingo, you did get Adam Thielen. Could you possibly have drafted another wide receiver in the draft where you have Hyatt, you had Tank Dell? There's a lot of question marks into what this team was thinking about doing with all-season acquisitions. Hayden Hurst has basically disappeared lately within the last 2 weeks, where Tommy Tremble has basically assembled RB1 back when we played Miami. Then if you look at Sullivan has also been producing as well now recently with his, catches, maybe catching 3 or 4 catches throughout the game, but they're critical catches to help him and help this team. And then Justin Houston, what has he done all year? I've seen Justin Houston in person, but statistically, a waste. Yannick, who signed with the Chicago Bears later in the offseason, we're going against him now. He had familiarity with the defensive line coach and Frank Wright, and we did not sign him. So for me, I say all 4 because there was opportunities for us to get better talent or keep the same talent on this team, and we did not utilize it.
Yeah, even Jadeveon Clowney, who was on the market, who's playing well for the Baltimore Ravens right now, man.
Exactly.
There were better pass rushers to be had, and we decided to shop at the bargain bin like we normally do.
Every year, it never fails.
I mean, they made it pretty clear, man. When you saw that, I don't know if y'all saw that clip of David Tepper speaking on the receivers. He mentioned in that clip that he wanted to save money in certain areas. So I think right there, he's letting us know he's being cheap. I mean, we're not really invested in, talent. It's really just garbage players trying to revive their careers pretty much, man. It's disappointing.
Yeah. And you remember when Bryce Young was drafted, David Tepper goes up to the podium. He didn't even have a microphone. He wasn't even supposed to be talking. But he went up there and, he was just repeating everything he was told by Fitterer and the scouts. And he goes, the benefit to having a quarterback like Bryce Young is that you don't have to have the best wide receiver.
Exactly.
Number one, why would you even ever say that out loud? And number two, what makes you think that your quarterback isn't going to need to have high-end wide receiver talent? It's the dumbest thing in the world to me, man. That's why I put a lot of blame on this front office. David Tepper doesn't know football. Everything he thinks he knows, he is being told to him by a man in Fitterer who has no idea what he's doing right now.
And then, Cody, for you to say that, I think we were all brainwashed as well, thinking that this man knew what he was talking about because he came from the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. He was a minority owner in the Pittsburgh Steelers ownership. He didn't make any big time decisions for sales or talking to a GM, talking to Mike Tomlin. He had a minority share in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we jumped with that. I was one with, he came from the Steelers. He knows, Steeler football is known for what? Defense, tough defense, and, they'll have a complimentary offense after Ben left. But no.
The owner for the Cleveland Browns, Jimmy Haslam, was also a minority owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And look how the Browns have been for the past 2 decades in a row now. So, yeah, man, he came from a great organization. He's trying to build the Panthers in the same light as that organization and failing miserably every step of the way now, man. Every decision that David Tepper has made has backfired on him, the team, the fan base, everyone.
Yeah, it really has. And like I said, I think now the fans, I just look at the Tennessee, who did we just lose to? The Indianapolis Colts game.
Colts.
For the stadium to be like what it was last year with Matt Rule, and you have an experienced head coach in Frank Reich, that's unacceptable. And that's what happened, and that's what got Matt Rule fired, because you have more opponents coming in enemy territory and overshadowing your own fans in your own stadium.
Always, man. If you remember, that was the game that got Matt Rule fired. It was right after San Francisco came, and it was a home game for San Francisco in Bank of America Stadium. And it's going to continue to be like that until the Panthers are able to build a winning culture. If you're a brand new Panther fan, I'm telling you, it didn't look like this in 2015, man. We had the Colts come to town. We had all these big-time teams come to town. The Packers came to town. Patriots. We had Panthers in the stadium, man. But right now, Panther fans we're down worse than I think we've ever been in the history of our organization. I know a lot of people like to bring up the Jimmy Clausen year, but if it wasn't for that year, you wouldn't have had Cam Newton.
Right.
And then Cam Newton broke rookie records at the quarterback position his first year in the NFL. So you at least had hope the very next year. The Panthers are the most losing team in football since that 2018 matchup when we went to the Pittsburgh Steelers when Cam Newton and T.J. Watt hit Cam Newton in the shoulder.
Facts.
Yeah, man, we haven't really been the same since Tepper became the owner in 2018, and literally we have not had a winning season since Tepper been the owner. It's frustrating to watch because you can't really do anything about the owner. But like y'all said, man, he don't know football, man. It's frustrating. Like, we don't really have the winning culture anymore. And then of course, a lot of Panthers fans have just checked out. And you see the Bank of America Stadium getting overrun a lot. Like, I get the opportunity to go to a lot of these games, and it's disappointing when you see Vikings fans filling up the stadium with purple or Eagles fans filling up the stadium with green. And for sure, when the Dallas Cowboys get in town, that's going to be a home game for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's just a repeating cycle every year. And it's tiring, man. I'm tired of it. So I don't know. I don't know what we got to do moving forward, but Tepper has not been it so far.
So speaking of subtractions and additions that we've had on this team, Quan, I didn't put this as a thumbnail, but Cody and I were talking before we set up. There are 3 players that if we could have kept on this team, for one, who would you choose out of the 3? Do you think they would make an impact on the team, number 2? And do you think, number 3, they could lead us to a different record? And those 3 gentlemen are Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, or DJ Moore. You only can choose one. And then do you think they will help this team in a way? And will they help in a win or loss record?
I mean, it's got to be CMC. I mean, with his versatility, with him being able to run between the tackles and also catch out of the backfield, and you can line him up as slot and wide out. I mean, he's just very versatile. So if you need an extra weapon to really draw the defense's attention so that everybody else can get off, CMC was that guy. You had to scout for him. You had the game plan for him. So wherever he lined up, the defense was going to shift his way. So I think he was more so of that threat that we are missing right now. And if CMC was with us, I think they could have, him and Bryce could have built a rapport maybe. So who knows, man? But I think out of those three, it's tough to choose. But I think CMC out of those three.
So with CMC, do you think we could possibly change maybe 1 or 2 games in the loss column and they can be wins?
At least maybe 1 or 2, yeah, maybe.
All right, Cody.
Man, look, I know Christian McCaffrey is the popular answer, but seeing what Donta Foreman was able to do last year at the running back position, one, we should have re-signed Foreman. Like the fact that we let him go to the Chicago Bears for a Bulberry biscuit. I mean, that man didn't sign for nothing. So I would be more comfortable with doing that at running back. Bro, this wide receiver core is trash.
Yes,
it's so trash, man. And the minute that we draft a quarterback, we ship DJ Moore out of town.
Exactly.
Bro, we could never give DJ Moore a quarterback to save our lives. We finally go to draft one, and he would be targeting DJ Moore just as much, if not more, as he's been targeting Adam Thielen to this point. Man, you just have to wonder what that connection would have been like. And especially now that we're in such desperate need of a wide receiver, man. Yeah, I feel like my initial reaction is to say DJ Moore.
Yeah, for me, I was going to say DJ Moore because Quan has had me be on the Chuba train now. So I think with the wide receivers that we had, I think somebody just said, one of our guys, Bleezo, said we should have traded Burns. I think if we would have traded Burns, we probably have not have given up so much draft capital as well because Burns is coming off that Pro Bowl season. So I do think I wish we did have a veteran type of wide receiver like DJ Moore. DJ Moore was never injured like that. Never injured like that.
That's a fact, though. That is a fact. He was healthy.
So I mean, sometimes we thought DJ Moore would be hurt, and he was like a pinball machine almost. And we'd be like, he's getting up, he'll come back in the game. So I think one thing that you have to help with your rookie quarterback is have a veteran type of wide receiver that can be his go-to. Imagine if we had DJ Moore and Adam Thielen on the same field.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be so much better than what we have right now. I'm telling you, that's for sure.
And I honestly think that would help with Chuba because you won't be putting 7 or 8 in the box and playing man-to-man coverage on your wide receivers.
Exactly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because of the limitations of our offensive roster, they know that we're limited in terms of what we can do. And even when we do drop back to pass, man, the routes that we run are so static. Like they run up and they stop, they settle into a zone, and they don't move at all. I feel like we're also not doing a good enough job moving Bryce outside the pocket. I feel like especially since your offensive line has been so trash, especially the interior, your guard and center play. Man, move Bryce outside the pocket, man. Do some more bootlegs. There are more ways to get your receivers open in space, and I feel like they're not doing that. I also feel like, one of the reasons you traded up to number 1 overall to draft Bryce Young was because of what he's able to do in between his eyes, man. He has that big brain. Everyone said he had the advanced processing. He would go through his progressions. But, man, when you look at Bryce Young on film right now, I don't know if it's because the coaches are specifically having Bryce get the ball out of his hands very fast, or he's just shell-shocked from being sacked 14 times or whatever in the past 2 weeks in a row. Bryce is staring down his receivers. And I'm not making that up, man. We do all 22 film reviews every week on our channel. It's up right now. They go live on Thursday. Bryce, he'll be staring down wide receivers and then throwing to them at the last moment. And I don't know if this is a product of the coaches, of the project, a product of the coaches making him get the ball out of his hand faster than he wants to, because I think it's also causing him to miss some open wide receivers when he does have them open. It just seems like a mess right now, man.
Like for me, this particular game, I know everybody said the Detroit game was kind of a tough one. Miami, we started out 14-0, and then we know Miami just went on a turn. But this is the first time I've seen Bryce nervous and scared. Those two picks, it was he didn't want to anticipate a hit, so he threw the ball quicker than what he needed to throw it, and they ended up in pick sixes.
That one pick he had, man, he hesitated. I think somebody had an out route coming out of the backfield, and he double clutched, I think, and then he threw it at the last second. That was way too easy for him to pick it off and take it back.
That was the second pick six.
It was way too easy, man.
It was supposed to go to Miles Sanders, and he just sailed the ball.
Yeah.
And just overthrew him. Yeah, I mean, he's staring down wide receivers, man. And again, it's like part of me doesn't know who to put the blame on. Because at Alabama, dude, everything that you're seeing from Bryce right now is not who it was at Alabama.
Yeah.
And again, I know it's college football to professionals, and there's definitely a difference. But he was so advanced, being in control of the offense, even under pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, and going through his progressions. Like, again, that's why you move up to number 1 overall for him. And the fact that we had a message from David Tepper, or it was reported that David Tepper wanted them to simplify the offense for Bryce, it's like, bro, that's why you moved up to draft him. So I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know if I need to be pointing the finger at Bryce or if I need to be pointing the finger at the coaching staff.
Tepper got his hands on too much. It sounded like way too much.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the line everybody knows. And I think it's a process of he has to understand the NFL is a lot faster than SEC football. And I think as well, like I alluded to, Trevor Lawrence had the same exact problem at Jacksonville. And when you look at it, Lawrence was saying he was going to be a generational talent. We use this generational talent term a lot. When you look at when we had Patrick Mahomes, he's a generational talent. People are saying Caleb Williams is a generational talent. Everybody liked what Bryce had on the S2 score. He's basically a coach with the headset on throwing the ball. That was one thing that they said as well. But we have to understand it's going to be an adjustment. I don't think, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't think there's one rookie quarterback that has won a Super Bowl. Am I correct?
No, not to win a Super Bowl. No, but there's been some second years, but not first.
Thank you. And then the second year, and when you say second year, that gives me Joe Burrow. Look what Joe Burrow was able to do.
And Ben Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl.
Russell Wilson too.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
So when you look at what they're able to do in the second year, I do expect Bryce to be light years ahead next year. Yes, I'm already looking at next year because we're already we're in week 10. It's only a little bit left, and then what are we going to do later? So,
yeah. Also, I wanted to answer one of the comments that we had in the chat. Jonathan McIntyre, he's talking about me flip flopping to strengthen to strengthen my CJ Stroud. One, I'm giving Bryce a compliment because what I'm saying is the quarterback that we saw on film at Alabama, the guy who was advanced to process, the guy who never took his eyes off of downfield, the guy who could do all those things, that's not who's playing in Carolina right now. Like, Bryce Young is not playing good football. It doesn't make anyone a hater to say that, though. Bryce Young is the future of the Carolina Panthers at the quarterback position. It's important that we all know the things that he's struggling at so that way we know how to better build around him in the future. We know that he needs better wide receiver help. We know that he needs better offensive line help. And then all that stuff compounds on one another. That way, when he finally does have an open receiver, he's been beat up so much that he's just not in rhythm and on timing to even be able to hit some of his open guys. So no one is denying that Bryce has it tough right now. Like literally not at all. But I'm also not going to sit here and say that Bryce is also playing good football and it's just everyone around him. Yes, everyone around him is bad, but Bryce has missed some opportunities as well. And we're going to have to continue to build him up and build around him in order to see him grow as a quarterback and potentially be like a Russell Wilson or a Ben Roethlisberger. It's definitely going to take more time for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, you said it perfectly. Yes, Bryce Young is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We know that. And if you look around him, I think I saw someone in the chat, I think it was Money2K. He said there's blame to go around. That's a fact. I mean, if you look at all the way down from GM personnel and just our lack of separation with our receivers, our offensive line is getting blown off the ball. We can't establish a run game, so nobody really respects us. So it's a lot to go around. And then you got Bryce Young who often holds the ball, you know, waiting for his guys to get separation. Cody mentioned it earlier. We don't flush Bryce Young out of the pocket. We don't use a lot of bootlegs, so he's stagnant in the pocket, making it even more easier for these defenders to get to Bryce. So when he's holding the ball, he looks shell-shocked out there, and then there's no help around him. I mean, it's really just a shit show all around. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So with it being about 7:50, what we got? 15, about 25 minutes till kickoff. Also, before we go into our next one, if you guys have not heard, Cody and I said it. After we end pregame, we will be heading over to Uncle Quan's experience, the Panthers experience, by play-by-play. And after Quan is done with play-by-play, we'll have post-game over at C3. So we got you guys covered all throughout the whole game, pregame and post-game throughout the night, man. So, again, we appreciate you guys and you ladies rocking with us. Again, if you have not subscribed to Wassup Dub, please hit the subscribe button for us. Hit the like button as well for my guy, Cody over at C3, multi-streaming over there. I do see the links beside the comments. I definitely appreciate you guys showing support over here with Wassup Doug. And again, I appreciate you guys showing support tonight. Somebody said, put up the link. I will put up the link. So give me 3 players. This is one thing we do over here, Cody. When we do Thursday Night Football, we say, give us 3 players that you're looking forward to either showing out, or 3 players that we need to outperform their normal performance for us to win tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, there's some easy answers here, right? Like, obviously, you can go Bryce Young and Adam Thielen. That's easy money. I'm looking at this defense, man. I'm looking at the edge rushers that are going to have to pick up the slack tonight, specifically Amari Barno and Marquise Haynes, who now have a big-time job on their hands, holding down the outside linebacker positions. And look, I'm going to keep it real. Dante Jackson needs to have a good night tonight, man. The fact that you don't have J.C. Horn on the field, you don't have C.J. Henderson on the field. Like right now, you're the big dog on campus, man. You're the guy with the most tenure. You've been here. I mean, I'm assuming they're putting Dante on DJ. And bro, I got my fingers crossed on that one, dude. I got my fingers and my toes crossed on that one, bro.
Facts, man.
For me, Quan, you want to go? You got your 3?
Yeah, I got my 3.
Go ahead.
I'm right there with you. I mean, of course, you got a popular one, which is Bryce Young. My guy, Bryce Young, man. So 3 interceptions. You basically had your worst game of your career thus far. Bounce back. I mean, you got a primetime game, short week, today. So let's see how he bounced back. That's what I want to see. I want to see some resiliency from Bryce Young. I want to see him, be focused, locked in, and just have a better game. Put all that mess behind you and just, next play, man. So let's see how they perform tonight with Bryce Young. See what kind of game plan they have for him. And then, of course, I'm also going to call out Hayden Hurst, man. Once again, I need to see some production from Hayden Hurst. I know this is not a popular answer. Hayden Hurst is a disappointment so far, but I do need to see him take advantage of this Bears secondary by helping Bryce Young be able to dish it out to his tight ends. And that's going to go for the whole tight end group, but specifically Hayden Hurst just hasn't been productive yet. So I need to see something from Hayden Hurst tonight. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go with my guy who was just recently the defensive player of the week, Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu is a baller. He's our security blanket. I don't want to compare him to Luke Kuechly. I really don't want to do that. I don't like comparing people to legends. But in a sense of our modern day football team, man, he's the closest thing we got to Frankie Louvu. No, I'm sorry, to Luke Kuechly. And I say that in the sense of like how he's able to stat stuff and just put up more than double digits tackles. So let's see Frankie Louvu have a good game today. I mean, I have no idea who Tyson Bagnett is for Chicago, or Baggett, or however the hell you say his name. I have no idea. There's no reason we shouldn't be feasting on that man tonight. So let's see Frankie Louvu get about 2 sacks tonight. And just like y'all said, man, let's see how these edges hold down that edge tonight with Brian Burns being out.
So one player I'm surprised Quan did not say in training camp, he was big on this young man. Give me Barno.
Facts.
Barno will be starting, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think he'll be starting right across from Marquise Haynes. We drafted him last year. One thing that I saw in person, I said, Quan, Barno is very small, but he's long.
He's thin.
With a rookie quarterback playing on prime time, I think Evero would definitely draw up some exotic blitzes. But when you blitz, the problem I'm going to have is, can our corners contain the wide receivers? And that one particular wide receiver that does scare me is DJ Moore. If we just look at their last time for prime time, whenever they played the Washington Commanders, what did DJ Moore do?
Ball out.
So for me, like I said, I really think Barno is one. Our corners, I know with Henderson being out, I do not know if they're going to play Troy Hill or they're going to play I forgot, I think his last name starts with the B. He was in a practice squad. Right now, they got Frankie Louvu mic'd up right now, hyping the guys up. For me, offense, I'm not even going to worry about Bryce. I think Bryce knows the pressure that's on him. I think a signing that needs to be shown today is TMJ. You wanted to trade. DJ Chark is not playing. I'm tired of the whole, he's not getting opportunities. You get opportunity now. It's Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo, and you. Like I said, it's time for you to definitely show up, man. And last but not least, I need to hope that Taylor Moton and Ike Ekwonu do not get punished by Sweat in this defensive pass set with Sweat and Yannick. So
man, you just said a whole lot. You just said a whole lot with that last one, bro.
Hey, real quick, man. Shout out to Swift SS. Yes, I am laughing at you, man. That comment was fucking.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He said, I looked off. Bryce Young has been ruled out due to being scared like a little bitch boy.
Bro, that's fucked up.
That's wild, man. That is wild, Swift.
Hey, let me ask y'all this: do y'all think DJ Moore is gonna have a Steve Smith Senior style revenge game tonight? Like what he did when we went to Baltimore?
No, I don't think so. Only reason I don't think so, Justin Fields is not the quarterback. If Justin Fields was the quarterback, I would say yes.
I don't see him balling out like that. I mean, I can at least see DJ Moore getting anywhere between 60 to maybe 80 yards tonight. I mean, our defense has been doing pretty good. Other than like Tyreek Hill burning us, I can't really think of a receiver that really dominated the game against our defense. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think he'll get some good ones, but I don't think he's going to have like a big game. I mean, I could be wrong. This is just my bold prediction right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You had something, Cody?
I mean, no, I was just going to say, man, like, this Tyson Bagent dude, he's the type of guy that might surprise you. You know, so check this out. Tonight is a battle of Heisman winners.
Correct.
Bryce Young won the Heisman, and this past season, Tyson Bagent, he was the Division II Heisman winner.
Facts.
So yeah, a lot of people think that this dude, he might be able to do something tonight. And let's be real, if we lose tonight to an undrafted free agent quarterback,
I will be fired,
bro, it's gonna.
I will be fired.
We haven't
Somebody
even
got to be fired,
seen
man.
how bad things can be, man.
Somebody got
Like we already said, Panthers Twitter, Panthers social media. Oh, it's gonna be livid. Like it's gonna be a weekend. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Y'all know how Panther Twitter get, man.
Oh, bro, you ain't telling me, man. Trust me, I know firsthand. They be coming after your boy on Twitter, man.
I feel it, man.
All right, so we almost at 7, almost at 8:00. So the next topic we got is Coach of the Year. Some of the candidates that are out here, you got Dan Campbell for the Lions, D'Amico Ryans for the Texans. Is it John Harbaugh for the Ravens, and then you got Doug Peterson for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do you gentlemen think right now? I mean, even if I forgot a name, if you have one out there, who do you think is Coach of the Year right now, and why?
Go ahead, Juan.
First of all, I'm gonna say my honorable mention is D'Amico, man. D'Amico has done something tremendous in Texans. I mean, he's completely flipped that culture around over there in Houston. And of course, they got their guys over there, and not just CJ, but they drafted guys like Will Anderson right after CJ, and then they really built that team, and they found a way to kind of create some immediate success. I mean, they're over 500 right now. They got a chance. You're hearing a lot of chatter about them. I mean, they're still building. They're not exactly complete, but what he's able to do with them in this stage at his career right now with them, I think it's pretty amazing. I'm interested to see what they do to finish the season. Maybe they can squeeze into the playoffs. If that's the case, then he definitely needs to be in that conversation for Coach of the Year. But with him being my honorable mention, I think my Coach of the Year is Sirianni, man. What he's done in Philadelphia. I mean, for them to only lose one game after a Super Bowl year and to continue to have a winning culture, to continue to be a dominant force in the league. Yes, they don't look like that same explosive team that we seen last year, but they always find a way to win. They always find a way. No matter how down they are in the game, they can look rusty, but regardless, man, they call up a great game when they need to, and they pull tricks out the ass when they need to win a game. So I think Sirianni has to be in that conversation for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's a great one, man. Sirianni and the Eagles, they look like a juggernaut. But I'm gonna say D'Amico Ryans, man. I really am. I know a lot of people were saying Dan Campbell because of Dan Campbell and what he's been doing with the Lions, but remember, it took Dan Campbell, this is his 3rd year as a head coach now?
Right.
D'Amico Ryans not only has a quarterback that is breaking NFL rookie records for touchdown and passing, but just last year, that team, everybody thought they were going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. And they were going to if it wasn't for one fluke win that they got at the end of the season. I mean, in 1 year, D'Amico being able to turn that around, both of their top 2 picks hit in a big way with C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson doing big things on the D-line over there. Their wide receivers are really good. Hey, let's be real. We could stand to do some of them Texans wide receivers right now, man. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, like those guys are making moves for that Houston offense. So, bro, I really mean this. I think to me, in my humble opinion, it's D'Amico Ryans hands down.
That was my pick. My honorable mention was Doug Peterson. Nobody thought D'Amico Ryans would be having this team at 500 ball right now. Nobody thought that CJ Stroud would be looking like maybe a top 10 quarterback in his rookie year. After everything that the media tried to basically say this young man could not do, what he could do, then you just, like you said, the names that you look at, yes, we say he doesn't have weapons, but basically look what D'Amico Ryans has his defense doing as well. Even though we won that game at home, that defense was nasty against Bryce. So for me, I would say if they keep this up and they have above 500 record, I do think D'Amico Ryan should definitely be a hard pick for Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah.
I also like what Tar Heel Kev in y'all's chat said. That the Texans offensive coordinator will be a head coach candidate.
Facts.
He's from the Shanahan. 100%. And bro, I'm just saying, if we did fire our guy, I wouldn't even mind if that's somebody in consideration, bro.
Yes, sir.
Him or Ben Johnson. Those are probably my two. Like again, I'm trying to practice patience, right? But I know that David Tepper is anything but a patient man. So especially if we lose tonight and we do end up firing everybody, Ben Johnson and the OC from the 49ers are definitely two people that I would entertain. Look at what Mike McDaniels has done for Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. Like it would be the same type of scenario, man.
All right, I got a special guest in the backstage. Before I bring him on, I'd like to welcome All Pro Sports Talk. This is a gentleman by the name of AJ. If you have not checked out All Pro Sports Talk, definitely check my guy channel out. We will be live with him doing a recording next week. So, AJ, go ahead and tell the people what's up, man.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
What's going on with y'all, man?
What's up, man?
How are you, man?
Doing good, doing good.
So go ahead and talk. Like I said, my guy Quan, I know we got about maybe 13 minutes. So go ahead and tell us what you think about tonight's game. Also, our guy AJ did a preview on this game. So go ahead and tell us a few thoughts before we go into our last topic, AJ. How you feel about this game, man?
I feel confident for the Panthers, to be completely honest, even though they're walking wounded right now. Brian Burns is out for this game. I'm just ready to see how Bryce Young is going to compete against that front seven of the Chicago Bears. And can that offensive line finally step up? Because it's been brutal so far this season for Bryce Young. He's been sacked 26 times this season, and he did miss the Seattle Seahawks game. So the only thing I would be worried about is how they protect him against Montez Sweat.
Gotcha. So do you I didn't ask the guys on the panel for tonight, but go ahead and be the first to give us your score prediction for tonight.
I'm going to take Carolina Panthers to win this one, 23-17.
Okay. Cody or Quan, what's your prediction for tonight?
Go ahead, Quan.
I'm gonna go with this is really garbage bowl right here, man. Let's go with Panthers. Let's go Panthers 20, Chicago 16.
All right, Cody.
All right, man. Don't call me a bad fan. I need to see more from this team before I'm believing in them. We're missing so many players, dude. I'm saying Chicago Bears 24, Carolina 17.
All right.
I hate to do it, man. I take no pleasure in that, by the way.
Hey,
I'm keeping it a buck, bro. I cannot tell a lie.
Well,
you can look at Bryce Young's eyes right now, man. He look like he's not here, man. It's something off. So you might, I don't know. I'm kind of second guessing myself right now with this Panthers win. I don't know, man.
Well, I got 24-13 Carolina.
Okay.
All right, so real quick, I got AJ in here. The last topic that we're going to talk about is MVP. Who do you guys have as the MVP? For my options right now, obviously I have Jalen. We got Pat, Tariq, CMC, and Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I'm going to let y'all take this one first. This is a tough one. This is tough.
I just say.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, man. Obviously, MVP trophy is always going to be a quarterback's trophy. So, I would love to go with CMC, man. I really would. If he hadn't got injured, he's still even with the injury, he's still balling. He's still at the top of the league with rushing yards. We know what he can do in the pass game as well. He's really got to San Francisco and he's put that team on his shoulders. But if I'm going to go with the quarterback position, I think Jalen Hurts for a lot of the same reasons that I mentioned Sirianni for Coach of the Year. Just what they've ever been able to do this season with just pulling the hat trick out their ass, man. It's just they literally been able to find ways to win, even when they seem to have their back against the wall. So I think they're playing great ball. I think Jalen Hurts is looking sharp as ever. So I'm going with Jalen Hurts for the MVP.
Yeah, it's been so long since a running back has won the MVP award. I'm like pulling for it to happen, and I'm pulling for it to be Christian McCaffrey. I think he deserves it. I know he broke the record for the most amount of games consecutively with at least scoring one touchdown. By the way, that record was around since like the 50s or 40s or something wild like that. So I'm definitely pulling for CMC to do it. But I'm going to keep it real with y'all yet again. There's an honorable mention in there who was not in that picture. His name is CJ Stroud, y'all. His numbers right now are comparable or better than Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence. And right now, they still got an outside shot at contending for a wild card. So I think he's an honorable mention that you have to at least mention.
So I'm going to go with the wild card. Give me Tyreek Hill. This man is on track to beat a record that nobody thought can possibly humanly be beat or broke unless you're on video game numbers. Also, I see somebody in the chat said Lamar. Lamar is my honorable mention right now. But for me, I think Tyreek Hill is doing something that is humanly impossible right now. And I understand it is a quarterback-driven award, but I would love for it not to be a quarterback award this year because, again, Tyreek Hill is doing something that definitely need to be on notice right now around the league. AJ,
I'm going to go with the same pick as you. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. I think that he's changed Tua Tagovailoa's career all around. We're at the halfway point in the season, and he's leading the league in receiving yards already at 1,000. He could possibly break over 2,000, which is going to be hard to do. But if somebody's going to do it, it's going to be Tyreek Hill. My honorable mention would be Lamar Jackson because of the wide receivers that he's dealing with. The wide receivers, to be completely honest, they aren't the best, and he's getting the best out of those wide receivers. We go back and look at the Steelers game. They had 7 drops in that game, and 2 of them were for touchdowns. If they catch the football those 2 times, they beat the Steelers, and they're in a better situation. But I'm definitely taking Tyreek Hill right now. He's the best player on the Miami Dolphins, and he's making that offense as his own.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, Chicago Bears just ran out, and we're going to conclude it. This is Week 10 NFL Takes with my guy, Uncle Quan, special guest Cody from C3, and my guy AJ from All Pro Sports as well, man. I appreciate you gentlemen joining us. Again, if you have not hit the like button before, you head out, hit that like button for us, and hit the subscribe button over here at Wassup, Dub. Also hit the subscribe button at C3 Podcast, Panthers Podcast, the Panthers Experience with Uncle Quan. Hit the subscribe button there as well. And All Pro Sports with my guy AJ, man. I appreciate you, gentlemen. It was a great show. Again, I appreciate everybody in the chat. We will be doing this every Thursday. We also will be heading over to the Panthers Experience right now, and also we'll be at C3 for post game. Again, I appreciate you, gentlemen, man. Anybody got any final words?
Nah, man, thanks for having me.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
man, keep pounding. I appreciate y'all for reaching out and making this happen. Hey, man, let's hope that the Panthers can mess around and look better than everybody's expecting tonight. So keep pounding.
Yes, sir. And with that, we out.